Welcome to the D Word podcast. Today's episode is going to be something inspired by a live I did on my social media platforms. I always go live on TikTok and I gauge the conversations that people love and appreciate, and then I somehow bring on that topic onto a podcast because I believe that sometimes people want a takeaway from that particular topic. So this week I spoke about growth. And I spoke about many examples of growth, but I think a lot of us live life without understanding that growth is important in how we do life. Imagine when you finished high school, you felt that learning stopped there. Or when you finished high school, you started to study, and when you finished studying, you felt that that stopped there. But our growth can be done till the day you die, no matter how old it is. Because growth comes with daily experiences, and the decisions we make every single day shape how our future is going. Imagine if we did life the way we did life when we were 18 years old, and we go through our entire life. We turn 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, and we're not growing. Then we are just basically doing life the way life is handing it out to us. There is no luck in doing life. It's built on the decisions we make every single day. And I like to reflect now and again, and I look at the simple things I do every single day and how you respond to situations that test your attitude. And it comes back to accepting the fact that there's certain things in our life that we have the control of how we respond, and how we respond determines how it will end up being. So I will give you a few examples on growth, and today I hope that this can resonate with you. The first step of growth is identifying the fact that you can still learn. And if you believe that you cannot learn and you know all the answers to everything you're doing, then there's no room for growth. Then it's pretty much a done deal. But the first step would be, I can grow, I can learn, and I can also unlearn things from the past so I can be better at it. I'll never forget when I was in my 20s and I used to look at people around me, and I felt that there wasn't many people around me who I could learn from. Most of the people I was around spoke about accolades. They spoke about how great they are and how much they have of this. I mean, we all have come across people who talk about how much of status they have. But nobody really takes the time to share with you what are the lessons in the status. Because if you look at people with too much status, they talk about how much they have, but they don't share with you the recipe of what it took to get there. And we need to be around people who don't brag about what they have, but share with us how did they get there. Because that is the lesson of growth. If somebody's growing in life, they won't talk about it. They will share how it can be done for you. That's the lesson of growth, where you want others to also learn the recipes that you take or took to get where you are right now. For example, a good one is that you can't grow from people who are not growing. Now, that's a very deep one. Let me go deeper. If you are on people who are on one wavelength and you are on the same wavelength, they will not want you to grow because that means you making them feel uncomfortable. So you also got to identify the people that you are around. Are you around people that are growing, or are you around people that are the same place they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago? So growing could be in maybe life choices. It could also mean flipping the script in how life is done. You can't do life the way everybody else is doing it. You got to do life the way you want to do it. You are the director of how your life plans out, which means the decisions you make are built on what you want. And if you get married, the decisions you and your partner decide to do in life, not what everybody else puts pressure on you to do. If you do it that way, then you are not doing life with growth, but you are doing life with T's and C's. And that isn't the best way to live life. You got to live life according to your rules, your mandate. And people need to stop using the word luck. If somebody has something in life that you don't say they are lucky. You don't know how hard they worked to get there. There's no such thing as luck when it comes to success. Look at all the greatest successful minds in our world. They never use the word luck. They use the word hard work. They use many of the terms I've used here, like growth, identifying where you want to be. They don't feel sorry for themselves. They find a way to grow. So if you want to grow today, the first step is identifying who you are, where you are, and making decisions that are right for you and your immediate family. You don't have to fall pressure into doing things because everybody else is doing it, but do it because you want to. I wish I learned this when I was in my early 20s. In my early 20s, I always wanted to buy the greatest fashion, and everybody wanted to, brand names. But the brand names were just brand names. I felt like I was marketing the brand name by wearing it in the bold print. And then I realized, what am I doing this for? For nothing. Rather, buy things that I need without brand names, still enjoy it, still feel the same, and use the money that's saved there for other things. You got to save for your life when you're older, and nobody talks about that often. I recently spoke to somebody who's very senior, and they were talking about how financially secure they are when they are older, that they don't want this burden to be on their kids when they're older. And I was very impressed by that, because society feels that if you have kids, they will somehow look after you when you're older, which is pretty much in some situations okay. But how great it would be when that pressure isn't there, where you as a parent can say, hey, I'm financially okay, and my kids can do life the way they want to do. And when I leave Earth, they will have something that I saved. That's a different kind of legacy, where your parents' legacy is in what they left for you, and you can have a part of that when you have your family and they have their family. That generational wealth keeps on growing in the family because one person in the family tree decided to save, and the rest get to benefit from that. That takes a deeper person to understand that, but I like that analogy, where one person does something for the future generations to live and to benefit from it. I don't know where your growth will take place in your life. Maybe your growth will take place in making better decisions, like what I just shared as an example. Maybe your growth will take place in how you speak, how you learn to listen to others. Maybe your growth will take place in some of your goals that maybe seem far out of range. Or maybe your growth will start by simply looking at your life right now and say, hey, life hasn't been good, hasn't been easy, but how can I make changes? Time is a great currency. We all have a limited amount of it. We can't buy time. So if our life was governed by a time that we saw on our hand, how would you live out today? Would you make better choices, wiser choices? Would you spend your time wisely? And would you learn to say, hey, if I can't have something, I'll do without it. And if I need it, how can I get it? Not how can I get someone to give it? Wisdom starts with making wise choices, but it also starts with you being honest with yourself, with the simple things that we have and that we don't have. I know this is one part of the story that I could talk about for many, many other episodes, but if I could leave you with one giant line that would leave us with a lot of wisdom and growth, is that you are the director. I'll say it again. I said it at the start. Say it now again. You are the director of how your life plans out. The decisions you make shape it into being a big picture or a small picture. So make wise decisions today that add growth to your future self. Because if your future self saw you today, would it say thank you, or would it give you a question mark? The D-Word Podcast. Until next time, take care.